Thank you, Cedric. You truly are a wonderful representative of our Jefferson students, and we're so proud of your accomplishments. At this time, I'd like to ask Mr. James Scordo, Chair of the Jefferson Community College Board of Trustees, to introduce our keynote speaker.
Good evening. Our speaker this evening is a member of Jefferson's full-time faculty, Dr. Raymond E. Peterson. Since joining the Jefferson faculty in 1984 as an instructor of political science, Dr. Peterson has distinguished himself as a campus leader, a researcher, a writer, a presenter, and an active citizen. He has been recognized for his mastery in teaching and co-curricular service, and his contributions extend far beyond the classroom. Dr. Peterson is well regarded by the campus community for his involvement in curriculum development, governance, and planning, and as such, he represented his peers on the SUNY Faculty Council of Community Colleges for 16 years. Dr. Peterson empowers students to become involved citizens, and as the founding faculty and advisor for the Polis Student Club, brings political debates, roundtable discussions on current events, and a diverse range of speakers to campus. He has been a valued contributor to the Center for Community Studies at Jefferson Community College since its inception in 1999, serving in a variety of roles, most recently as its director. In recognition of his extraordinary service at the campus community, regional and state levels, Dr. Peterson was honored with the SUNY Distinguished Service Professionalship. He holds a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science from SUNY Oswego and both a Master's of Arts and Doctorate of Philosophy and Political Science from the City University of New York. Please welcome our speaker this evening, distinguished Professor Dr. Raymond Peterson. Yes,
Thank you, Jim, for that wonderful introduction. I especially liked having a little pause between my remarks and Cedric's. I've been telling people all day, I'm so nervous, I don't know why. And then I realized I was following Cedric. So bear with me, I think we can get through this. Okay, thanks. Welcome, graduates, family, faculty and staff, and the stage party to the 2015 Fall Commencement at Jefferson Community College. I will share just a few stories about commencement, which is about completion and the ability to move forward. Every completion begins with a commitment, with taking something on, a challenge, a hurdle to overcome. It starts off with hope and opportunity. Then some adversity gets added in. And if things go right, we come out on the other side stronger for the challenges. So let's share a few stories. I'm going to ask for your help here as we go through these stories. So I want to start off with this section over here to my left. Can you folks over there give me a C? Shout out a C. C. Thanks. C's for Charlie. Charlie had trouble graduating from high school, not because he wasn't really bright, but because he didn't attend that often. He barely had enough attendance days to be able to graduate. He wasn't sure what he wanted to do, wasn't sure if he wanted to go to college. So he worked for several years. Some of his jobs were minimum wage, jobs you wouldn't write home about. One day during his lunch break, Charlie decided to come to campus and enroll. So he drove down the entrance drive to the parking lot, outside admissions, chickened out, and drove back out. Charlie was kicking himself about this, got his car turned around, had it back down to the parking lot to admissions, and chickened out again. Had it back out over to Caffeine Street. Then for the third time he turned around and headed back down, this time parked the car, walked in, and signed up for classes. Charlie became a star student, went on for his bachelor's, then a master's degree, and ended up with a PhD. He's now teaching at a university in West Virginia. Now from over here, I need an O for Olivia. Olivia grew up on a farm. The farm work was so hard, it took such a toll on her that she couldn't do the farm work anymore. So she got a job in a mill, but then the mill closed down. She had to do something to help out her family, so she came to JCC to take classes. She took a history class, and her instructor told everyone on the first day that twice that semester, each student would have to lead the class discussion. So after that first class, she walked back across campus to the library, right into her advisor's office and said, "I'm dropping this class." The instructor happened to be right behind her, and he walked into the advisor's office too and asked, "Why?" Olivia said, "You're going to make me talk in class." Well, the instructor and her advisor talked to her and said, "You should try this. This is something you can do." So between the two of them, they convinced her to try it. She stayed in the class, and she talked a lot in class, and in all our classes. She transferred on for her bachelor's degree, then got her master's degree. She's a counselor now in our community. That's Olivia's story. From you folks here, I need a you. Because this is Uriah's story. Uriah worked for years in a very dangerous job and ended up with a brain tumor, probably related to the job. He couldn't work that job anymore, so he came to JCC and took classes and got a degree. He then went on and got his bachelor's degree. Uriah started working with a group investigating work safety issues, particularly the kind of work that he used to do. Uriah started to document those issues. He took photographs and talked to people, and he ended up being interviewed on a nationally broadcast television documentary and winning a National Safety Award for his work. Uriah is a counselor working in the area now, helping out kids. Now back to you folks. Can you give me an R? For Renee. Renee was a bright student with a quiet personality in class. She became one of the co-editors of the college newspaper. When she did that, she wrote a little story, a true story about her own life. And she asked one of her instructors what he thought about the idea of her printing this story in the paper. He told her that would take a lot of guts, a lot of courage to do that, but also that would be a great thing if she felt like she were up to it. It would help her, it would help other people too. So she did put this in the student paper. It was a story about her coming out, about revealing her sexual orientation. It was a relief to her that she was able to say publicly who she was, the way she had been born. Renee went on for her bachelor's degree, and years later, a master's degree, and now Renee is doing public service work for another community in another part of America. Back to you folks. Can I get an A? Let's call this next one Adam. Adam's story is really about all you parents out there. Parents who have encouraged, parents who have trusted and have had faith in your kids, who've given them the help that they need to be able to do this college thing. Adam's father was one of those soldiers in the humanitarian mission in Somalia in 1993. One of those soldiers pinned down in Mogadishu during the Black Hawk Down incident. While he was huddled against enemy fire, not knowing if he would get out alive, Adam's father wrote Adam a letter. Now, this was a letter to his infant son, talking about what his hopes were for Adam and about how much he loved him. Adam's dad did make it out of Somalia, by the way. He later came to Adam's graduation from JCC. But before that commencement, Adam had a little time of confusion, a very common test of college students. You see, as an adult, Adam developed a lot of different interests. He started off in one major, was thinking about a change to a different major, then he still wasn't sure what he wanted to do. So he talked to an advisor, and the advisor said, maybe you should look to do what you're good at, or what you would really enjoy doing, because there's no amount of money that can make up for it if you dislike your job. The great thing for Adam during all this was that his parents were supportive of whatever he wanted to do, whatever work would make him feel fulfilled, whatever work that would make him happy. So Adam was able to take that step of changing his major, changing his plans, because of the support his parents gave him. Let's hear it for the parents. Okay, back to you folks. Can you give me a G? G. Thank you. The G is for Grace. Now, at first, Grace didn't want to go to JCC. She wanted to go away. But due to circumstances beyond Grace's control, her mother was the one who went away. So her family needed Grace to stay home, help out, and go to JCC. The good news is that in the process of going to JCC and staying to help with her family while their mother was away, Grace discovered her calling, what she loved to do, what she was meant to do. She's able to pursue that calling. She's able to graduate from JCC. Her mother is able to share in that graduation because she was able to come back. And isn't that a great thing? I'll share one more story, and I'll need you all to give me an E. E. This is Eddie's story. Eddie grew up on a farm with his parents and 6 brothers and sisters. Eddie had this problem with stuttering that was really bad. So bad he could barely get out 3 or 4 words without stammering. It was frustrating to him and embarrassing. So starting when he was in high school, he took a class in public speaking to slow down so that the pace of his thoughts would match the pace of his ability to speak. Eddie did some speech contests to practice. He had some good experiences, and he had some really tough experiences. Eventually, he went on to college, where he took a few more classes to practice speaking, went out for a college theater production, and got the part of the male lead. Afterward, he went to graduate school, earned a PhD, and by sticking to it and overcoming those obstacles, he's almost ready to finish delivering the fall 2015 commencement address at Jefferson Community College. Okay. You know what all those letters spelled out? Courage. Shall we all say it out loud together? Courage. Okay. There are many more stories. Each of you has your own story, but my time tonight's almost up. With all this courage, we can surely handle terrorism, foreign and domestic. We can certainly heal the earth. Together we can make a more just and free future with equality for all. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to be uplifted by your courage, to share in your stories and be a part of the celebration. Thanks.
Thank you, Ray, for making this 2015 fall commencement truly special. We sincerely appreciate your commitment to education, to Jefferson Community College, and to our students.